Hello everyone, and thank you very much for joining me in this tutorial. So here in this lecture we are going to talk about this amazing React and AWS based real-time chat with sentiment analysis application. We are going to cover the functionality of the application first, and later on in this video we are going to check out the code and the things that have been used in the backend and the front end for creating this application. Okay, so let's check how this application works. Let's check the functioning and the working of this application first, and then we are going to dive into the coding environment. Okay, so here if I type a message like this, hi all, how are you? What will happen? Let's see. It's a positive message, right? And we have a color of green in the background here for this message. Now if I type a negative message like I hate you, let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so it's a negative message. That is how this application analyzes the sentiment of the message. Okay, and it shows us the sentiment in the form of positive or negative, right, in the front end like this. Let's type something else. I really like this dress. It's a positive message, right? I am good. It's a positive message again. Okay. If I just type okay, so it's a neutral message. Right, so that's how we can keep on typing, we can keep on checking the sentiment of different messages. And now let's check out the back end and the front end of the application. So here we are in the coding environment. As you can see, there are two folders. One is with name chat sentiment app and the other is with name chat sentiment front end. Okay, now this is for the backend and this one is for the front end. Now what all things are there in the backend? Let's check it out. So basically here we have used the socket programming. Okay, so this is what we have on the top in the server side. We have created an Express server. We are using socket right now. Okay, so whatever messages we type through front end, in real time it hits the backend, which is there on 4000 port. The backend is working on port number 4000. Let me just show it to you. Here it is. Okay, and we are taking the response from the front end, which is traveling on port number 3000. Okay, so socket is helping us in taking the input in real time from the front end and then passing it to AWS comprehend service, taking the feedback from that comprehend service, then combining the message along with the sentiment analysis which comprehend has done, and then putting it together and showing it to the user on the front end. So that's the complete flow of the application. Here we are using this AWS software development kit. So for the same we have used AWS-SDK. Then because we are passing the request from 4000 to 3000, sorry, from 3000 to 4000. Okay, that's the reason we have enabled CORS for it. Okay, then let's come down. This is how we have configured the CORS for sockets. That's where our AWS users credentials lies. Now for using this application, so you will be getting the code, right, but you won't be able to use this access ID and secret access key. Why? Because I will not be able to share it with you. Fine, what you have to do for creating it, let me just show it to you. So it's very simple. You just have to have you just need to have an IAM AWS account. Then you have to come on IAM, simply type IAM here, come on IAM dashboard, then come on users, and here you will not see anything if you are a new user or if you are new to AWS. But if you already have some users built over here for some of the other application of yours, you can use the same users credentials over here. But in case you are new to AWS, let me show it to you how you can get these two things, access key ID and secret access key. So what you have to do, you have to come on create user, simply create a user by some or the other name. Let's say testing user, then do next, then come on attach policies directly, and then attach this administrator access policy. Fine, do a next, and then, okay, there is one more policy. Sorry, I forgot to tell you about that. Coming back to the previous screen, here besides administrator access, you also have to attach comprehend, okay, full access. Fine, and then you can do a next, then you can do a create user. Okay, then comes your testing user which you have created. You now have to create access keys. So you have to click on create access key, come on command line interface, simply do a confirmation, come on next, and simply create your access keys. So that's where you will find your access keys. You just have to copy them. So this access key will come here and the secret access key will come here. That's how, you can simply log in into your AWS through your command line interface of your local VS Code. Fine. So this is how we are entering into AWS, so you can say signing into AWS. Then, as you guys know, we are using Comprehend service. Fine, so we have this Comprehend package with the help of which we can access it. So Comprehend is something in AWS with the help of which you can do sentiment analysis of the text kind of a data. Okay, if you have something in the form of text and you want to find out the sentiments of the person who has typed the text behind it, so you can use Comprehend for the same. Now here we are simply making a connection using socket. We are taking the message which is coming from the front end, and then we are simply passing it to this analyze sentiment function, which is an asynchronous function. Fine. Then we are passing it to the detect sentiment function of comprehend. Okay, and finally we are getting the result over here. We are then taking the result, this data dot sentiment, and let's see where exactly we are passing it. So we are passing it back to the sentiment data, okay, which means the front end. Okay, and now let's check out what we have in this app.js. So as I've told you, there is this backend, okay, and the other thing that we have is this front end. So front end, we have all this code we are using because it's 4000 on whichever server is running. That's the reason we have created a socket here for hitting the same port. Now we have used this use effect hook over here for receiving the messages, okay, from the socket. Now here we have this handle send message. So this is going to help us in sending the message to the backend, which is running on 4000. Then here we have this positive, negative, neutral, and mixed. So if it is a positive response which is coming as a feedback from comprehend, this is a color which we are going to show in the background of the text. If it is neutral, if it is negative, then this is the color that we are going to have. If it is neutral, this is the color that we are going to have. And if it is mixed, let's see if what will we get for mix. So I am happy but really angry on him. Let's pass it. So see, it's a mixed kind of a response, right? We have a mix of angry, positive, as well as negative, right? That's the reason we're getting a color like this. And finally, we are simply putting everything on the front end. Okay, so that's how we have created the application. There are very few lines of code that we have written, right? App.css is the file where we have kept the CSS code. App.js has our front end, and this chat sentiment app has our backend code in the server.js file. Okay, what all packages you have to install for running this application on your local? Let me just help you with that too. I'll have to close the application. So you'll have to install this Socket.io client. Okay, you'll have to install Express, right? Socket.io, AWS SDK, and body parser. These are few commands that you need to, run. Okay, but if you have all these things in your pocket, I don't think that these commands are also required. Fine, so I'll be uploading this code on my GitHub repository, from where and you can just download the code, and you can also set it up on your local and then check out the functionality of the Comprehend service which AWS provides us. That's it from my side in this lecture. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye bye, take care, and have a great day, guys.